Hi everyone, this is just a quick midweek video to talk to you about a trick that you can use so that you can make alcohol ink designs if you don't have Yupo paper. Now, anyone who's used alcohol inks to create art will know that you need to have a paper that is not absorbent. So Yupo paper is one of the best things to use. So what if you don't have any Yupo paper? What if you don't want to buy any because it is quite expensive? Now, I did this design on chipboard, which of course is absorbent, and I made these earrings. So I'm going to show you a trick that I used so that I could use absorbent chipboard but still get the lovely blending results that you get when you're using Yupo paper. So I'm using 1mm chipboard here. I will try and put some in my Amazon shop, but you could use any chipboard that you have. You can even use cereal box card to do this. I used this chipboard because I wanted the earrings to be fairly solid. So you can see what happens if you try and drop alcohol ink onto chipboard. It doesn't really go anywhere, it doesn't spread, it just soaks in because alcohol ink needs a shiny surface to do its magic. So what I do is I use a good quality PVA glue, and I am using, I think it's Hobbycraft, I'm not sure, no, I think I got this in the works. I'm using PVA glue, and you'll see here I am going to spread the glue over the whole surface of the chipboard. So you need to give it a good coat. So first I use this white glue, white PVA glue, and then when I'd done that I set it to one side to dry, and then I tried this clear PVA glue, which I think is what the kids use to make slime. I just wanted to see how that would work as a surface. And then finally I used Deco Mache. Whoops, I did too much there. Put some back. Yeah, I did a thick layer on here, and then I did another piece of card with a much thinner layer, as you can see here. And that's the piece that I used for this video. And now that my chipboard has got this layer of dried PVA glue, it's no longer absorbent, and you can see the ink spread and blend in a beautiful way, just the same as they do with Yupo paper. Now, this thing that I'm using, this puffer, it's one that I bought to clean my camera with. It's very strong, and I did have one of my viewers in my last YouTube video said to me, can I use a straw to blow the ink around? And yes, you can use a straw, but I would not recommend using a straw. The simple reason being, when you are taking a breath in, you are close to the work, you are sucking in the alcohol fumes. It's something that I absolutely would not recommend. You need to be by an open window when you're using these inks, preferably with a mask on. You definitely don't want to be using a straw and taking deep breaths in right over your work. Not a good idea. So I highly recommend getting one of these puffers. Like I said, don't, straws, yeah, you could use a straw, but please don't, because the tendency is to be right over your work as you take the breath in. That's what I was doing, and I found it wasn't doing my lungs any good. So I used this puffer. You can get them on Amazon. You can, I know Tim Holtz does one. You don't necessarily need to buy his. Any strong puffer will do. It's just a great way to spread the ink across the paper in a way that you can't do without a puffer. So that's the technique that I use to use chipboard with alcohol inks and prevent the ink from just sinking into the chipboard. It does give you a lovely textured surface as well. I found this to be a bit dark, so I'm using the white from this set, this Lamino set. They did have these sets on Amazon, but they're coming up as not available at the moment, so you might want to get a different white from somewhere else, but having the white alcohol ink definitely it's brilliant, because it really lifts any piece that's gone a bit too dark. You can kind of reblend the inks by putting some white on there, and I was quite happy with the way that mine turned out in the end. I am actually giving this away as a free printable, so if you go over to my website you will get this design as a free printable, and then you can print it off and make earrings in the same design that you see at the start and the finish. You can see it hasn't soaked through, only on the edges, and that's only where the ink spilled over. But if you can actually do your own alcohol ink designs, I'd highly recommend it, because if you can do it straight onto chipboard, then all you need is 2 layers. You'll see in a moment that I cut out 2 designs per earring, and then I just stick them together back to back, and that cuts out a heck of a lot of work. So I'm using my earring template here, or one of my earring templates, and this is the fun part, because you can go all over your design and you're picking out tiny areas that you're actually going to use to be your earrings, and it's really good fun, and you start to see the tiny areas of the design that are really pretty. I always tell people when they're doing the designs, when they're dripping the alcohol ink, not to think of it as one big picture, but to see it as a series of intricate little patterns that you're going to pick out afterwards. So you really don't need to worry about the big picture, and that is the joy of doing these designs to make earrings. So there's a couple of areas that I've picked out, and I've cut them all out now. So as I said, there's 2 per earring, and I'm going to stick them back to back. The best thing that I've found for sticking chipboard to chipboard is Pritt Stick. So it's quick to dry, it's long lasting, it holds the 2 layers of chipboard together really well, and you haven't got all glue squishing out. Now before you stick them together, do what I always do with the edges of everything I do. You want to just colour the edge in so that it blends with the design on the front, because otherwise it would ruin the look. Once you stick them together, you'd have that bare chipboard side. So just choose an appropriate colour. I'm using a Sharpie. See how lovely that texture is? You know, the ridges, the lines in the PVA glue from the brush actually look really good. Yeah, so that's what it would look like if you didn't put the Sharpie on there. There's the Pritt Stick. I've already put it on these 2 pieces. So you just need to glue them together and hold them steady until they've taken, and there are my 2 earrings. You might want to put a little bit more Sharpie along the edges once you've stuck them together, and so you've got front designs on the front and the back, so as your earrings swing round, people are going to be treated to your artwork on both sides. And I've got loads left over from that small piece of chipboard, so I'll make more earrings or a pendant or something from that. I have put some metal eyelets in there, and I used my crocodile tool to make the holes. I've got them a little bit off center there. If you're not sure what a crocodile is, if you go back to my previous video, you'll see in there. And I've put the earring findings on, and that's that. There are my earrings made from chipboard using my PVA trick. I hope you've enjoyed this quick midweek video. There will be another video coming along fairly soon after this one, and if you want notifications of all my new projects as they come up, I would suggest you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon, which will give you those notifications. You could also go over to my blog, www.funcraftstodoathome.com, where you will find the details of the free printable for this project. Take care everyone, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.